special teams coach are all gone. But one of the biggest problems they had all year was their offense. Kafka's not going anywhere.
But Kafka's getting head coaching interviews.
He's coaching in the East West Shrine game.
Yeah.
I mean, but there was a lot of issues with this team. So was he singling out Daniel Jones because it was a moment to send a message to the rest of the team, a la Bill Parcells, or was it a guy that was just losing his you-know-what to the one guy that he felt like he wanted to just rip into? Because I still believe he doesn't particularly like Daniel Jones. That's my theory, how he kind of in love with Tommy DeVito. I'm not sure that Dable's in love because I'm not sure he feels like he can win with him.
Well, he fell out of love with Tommy, too.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But that's no big deal at the end of the day because there's no contract for Tommy DeVito. I hope he has a future, but it may not be here. There's still theoretically 3 more years of Daniel Jones, or at least 1 guaranteed year still left with him. But it isn't even the abuse. I don't care. I just want to get to the bottom of this. He need to tone this down. Is he somebody that's difficult to work with? Because they've got to go out and find 3 other coaches. Now, they were able to get the guy from the Raiders, and he's very highly respected, so it doesn't look like it's that big of an issue. And I'm not siding with Wink, because it sounds like Wink had an ego, and there's a lot of things going on there. But I do want to get to the bottom of making sure that we get the right coaches here, because you still have to win, and this still was a 6-win season.
Now, speaking of coaches, this happened after we were off the air yesterday. I think it surprised all 3 of us, probably surprised a lot of the people listening as well. Nothing changing in Dallas.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Well, go for it, baby.
To me, this is a wild decision, and I guess suggests that more than anything, Jerry Jones just wants to be in control and doesn't want to have a lot of back and forth. He wants someone to execute what he wants done, and so he'd rather, especially with a guy who's rattling off 12 wins a year, even if he can't compete in the playoffs and falls flat on his face in big spots, he would rather win the 12 games a year, have the full building, make all the money they're making, trot out Dak Prescott, sell lots of jerseys, and lose.
Well, then the whole narrative that he's desperate for Super Bowl, it can't be true.
I would say that's the answer here. Because guys, he's not. They're going to let Bill Belichick go to Atlanta.
I think the fact that Belichick was available is what spooked him. Because if he got rid of McCarthy, he had to hire Belichick. Had to.
Just because it's the Jerry Jones thing to do.
That's the guy. He's the best guy available. Money shouldn't be an issue. And I think that spooked him because he knew he'd have to hire Belichick.
But again, and I know I sound like a crazy person at this point, but considering how ready this Dallas team is, that wouldn't have been a great spot to sort of split the difference and go get Pete Carroll instead? You have to get Belichick where you have to give him control of everything? I'd get someone. I see why Belichick would be too much for him, and I see why Jerry would be too much for Belichick. It's not a great fit, but there wasn't any other option that he could have brought in there at this point.
Could have brought in Vrabel.
He wants, but Vrabel's got a personality, right? Pete Carroll's got a personality. He wants a guy that when they win the Super Bowl, he's standing next to him, lifting up that trophy together, and all eyes are really on him because the coach is not really that big.
Well, that's McCarthy.
Even though McCarthy's won a Super Bowl, it's kind of looked at Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl, not Mike McCarthy's Super Bowl, because if he wins it with Pete Carroll, if he wins it with Belichick, he's going to have to share the credit. And with Bill would swallow up the room.
Today is the anniversary of the greatest sports moment probably of my life, which is the Redskins-Vikings NFC Championship game, 87 season in 1988 when it happened. I just watched the play at the end. I don't remember, Don. It was 4th and 4 for the Vikings inside the 5. They had a chance to win the game. Darryl Green breaks up a pass. Redskins win. The second it happens, the cameras, as the crowd's going insane back in the day when we had fans and RFK is shaking, the camera is only on Joe Gibbs. For the next 90 seconds, it is all Joe Gibbs. That is not a situation that Jerry Jones ever wants. And that is not who. Are you telling me that if the Cowboys did it, the cameras would just be locked in on Mike McCarthy? You wouldn't even see him. You would see Dak Prescott to Jerry Jones, to Dak Prescott to Jerry Jones.
But I would agree with you, but he took the dive on Parcells.
But that's times change. That was a long time ago. Maybe he's gotten more comfortable being in this role. I mean, don't forget, Parcells relative to the whole Jerry Jones run was relatively early. This is this is the Jerry Jones of the last 20 years. He runs this team in every way.
What was Parcells last year?
That was 06 with the Cowboys, right? That was the last game with the Romo fumble snap. That was 06.
And
that long ago.
What year did Jerry get the team? Mid 80s or early 80s?
89, I think, was his first year.
Yeah.
So, and then he hired Parcells in what, 2000?
2000. He was there 3 years or 4.
So early 2000. 21, maybe 20 years ago.
Parcells for.
I think he was there 3 years.
Yeah,
and Michael, maybe the Parcells thing was a never again moment for him.
But they played well, and if Romo doesn't fumble that snap, that team could have won the Super Bowl.
But then think about who we've had after that. From your Wade Phillips and Jason Garrett's and Mike McCarthy's, he does not bring in guys who bring a lot of charisma to this job.
4 years. Parcells was there 4 years.
Okay.
And he got the team in 89. All right, so we'll talk more about that. Again, I guess, we're just projecting. Well, he's 81. He's desperate for Super Bowl. If you're going to keep Mike McCarthy, you're not desperate for Super Bowl. And there's also news out of Dallas today that if Dan Quinn doesn't get any job, they're going to keep him as defensive coordinator. He was completely coached under the rug by LaFleur. Coached under the rug. Had no answers.
Oh, you would think they'd at least have to do that.
Well, some chairs are going away. It looks like Philadelphia is not going to make a change. Dallas now is not going to make a change. So I still think there could be a team for Quinn, right? Even if Belichick goes to Atlanta and Harbaugh goes to L.A., there's still Carolina. There's still Washington.
Is Harbaugh looking like the front runner for L.A.?
Yeah.
Interesting fit.
You still have Carolina, Washington, Seattle.
Washington, I think, is a done deal.
You do?
I feel pretty sure it's going to be the Detroit OC.
Well, they might have to wait for him. Well, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
The next Mega Millions drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
Jeff has a problem. It started when he ordered his Brunt workboots. He's beating them up 14 hours a day, going on about how they're comfortable as sneakers, but he never takes them off. At my place, with his buddies, at night, I caught him in the shower, and he just goes, "What? They're waterproof." I don't know if we're gonna make it through the 30-day risk-free trial.
Of course they will, babe. They're super durable.
I'm not talking about the boots, Jeff.
Brunt, the tools you wear. Try us on the job for 30 days risk-free.
At Care.com, you can find all the help you need. You can find babysitters, dog walkers, housekeepers, and senior caregivers, which means you might also find a bit of relief. And the occasional stress-free errand. Maybe even a chance to go and take a bath every once in a while. Just imagine, downtime, clean floors, and, dare we say it, weekends away? Crazy talk, right? Except it's not. Not anymore. Find all the care you need at Care.com.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInc.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at CustomInc.com.
So, you need a suit, a tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's plus one, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
Guys with bad jeans, are they worth it?
Jeans go with everything.
They go with nothing. Dudes, get the new Only Pant by Fabletics.
Awesome.
Want one pair of pants that does everything like magic? Breathable cooling tech. Always stretch. Secure phone pocket.
Bro, I'm in an Only Pant ad.
Water repellent. Work, golf, date night, hiking, biking. It's so everything.
See this stretch?
You forget about the deal you're getting.
It's our biggest sale of the year. Get the Only Pant for $19 at Fabletics.com.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat type 2 diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
So keep on believing, because it's not just about the weight you lose. It's about everything you gain. Believe on. Wegovy.
This is Aaron Judge, and I want to introduce you to the All Rise Foundation. Our mission is to inspire children and youth to become responsible citizens by engaging them in activities that encourage them to reach unlimited possibilities. We accomplish this through our All Rise Pro Camps, Aspiring Leaders programs, and our mini grant program that supports our youth education, leadership skills, health, and well-being. We began in my hometown of Linden, California, expanded to my college town of Fresno, California, and as of last year, I was fortunate to share All Rise with my home for the next 8 years in New York City. Join me and my foundation as we all rise to support youth in our community at our next All-Star Evening on January 25th, 2024.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly.
To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
You know, the old line by Albert Einstein, I call him Al, doing the same thing over and over and expecting something to change is the definition of insanity.
Oh, the definition of insanity.
I was really surprised when they didn't fire McCarthy. I mean, that was a bad performance. They were favored. They had not lost at home. They continually get knocked out in the first round. They beat a bad Tampa Tom Brady team last year. So I don't know if that really counts, but the bottom line is, wow, that's just amazing that they kept them.
Again, I'm still surprised because I just felt like the age and the lack of a championship 25 years now was going to win out over his ego. But it just shows you how big Jerry's ego is. He wants no part of a championship unless he's the man. And you're right, Michael. If he fires McCarthy, he has to get Belichick. Now, if Belichick says no, great. But Belichick probably wasn't going to say no. Maybe going the Parcells route back in the day, that was a significant amount of time ago, finally soured him on, I don't want to work with the Jimmy Johnsons anymore. I don't want to work with the Bill Parcells anymore. I want to be the man. And you take a look, as Peter said, the coaches since Parcells. You know, Wade Phillips, known commodity, but certainly not any kind of huge personality. You know, hadn't won big elsewhere. Same thing with Jason Garrett. My God,
Dave Campo.
Dave Campo was before, but yeah, like he's got a list of guys that just are not very impressive because he wants to be the man. Jerry and Jimmy didn't get along because Jimmy took credit. Jimmy made transactions. He knew people around the NFL. He was a winner. They had to share that championship together. He doesn't want to share it, Michael. He wants it to be like 75-25. He wants, when they win that Super Bowl and that clock zeroes out, that Fox or CBS or whoever has the game, the first thing they show is Jimmy Johnson on the sidelines cheering. Jerry Jones cheering. That's what he wants.
Now, let me throw this at you. Maybe he contacted Belichick, and Belichick said, no way.
Adam Schefter was on earlier today.
You want to hear it? I have it right
here.
Here.
Play it.
Here it is on Get Up. Did Jerry Jones kick the tires on any other coaches?
He did not kick the tires on those coaches, to the best of my knowledge. Now, is it possible that there's some clandestine call that I did not hear or know about? Yes, that's possible. But to the best of my abilities, Greeny, I don't believe that Jerry Jones reached out to these coaches and tested the waters and kicked the tires, however you want to call it, to see whether they would be interested in becoming the Dallas Cowboys head coach. I think he was deciding on what to do with Mike McCarthy singularly, and he made the decision that his team was better off.
Now, here's Dan Orlovsky, also on Get Up, saying that this was the wrong decision.
I think it's the wrong decision by Dallas. We'll find out next January who's right. Jerry Jones said, well, Mike McCarthy's got the highest win percentage in the history of the Cowboys for a regular season. Stop right there. Don't talk to us about Super Bowls anymore then. Don't feed us this lie that there's nothing on planet Earth that you'll do more than try to win a Super Bowl. You are literally keeping a coach, and in your words, because he wins in the regular season. He doesn't win in the playoffs, certainly not with you guys. The second thing is, well, Mike McCarthy doesn't deserve the blame. Well, then who does? If you just witnessed and watched one of the worst playoff losses in the history of your organization, an absolute collapse, where does the blame fall?
He's right. He's right. You know, it's almost like the Yankees can't talk about wins in the regular season. They can't. I mean, the foundation of the team is built upon 27 championships. So you can't shift focus and say, well, we won 100 games. No. What did you do in the postseason? They've trained their fans to think like that. The Cowboy fans are the same way.
And the sickness with Jerry is that I think he even likes it when he's blamed. He wants it to be all about him. He even said, I take responsibility for the loss. Like, so if they continue to lose with McCarthy and people blame Jerry, I think he's good with that. Whether he's getting blame, he's getting praise, as long as he's being talked about with the Dallas Cowboys. If he gets the blame for their losses, he's cool. If he gets the praise for them winning, he's great. I just think he wants it to be all about him. Winning, losing, all about him. Take a look at the coaches since Parcells. Take a look at the coaches between Jimmy Johnson and Bill Parcells. The fact that he's on the sidelines, the fact that he has every part of that organization, Michael, I think he'd rather lose and it be his fault than win and somebody else get all the praise for it. And whether it's Pete Carroll, whether it's Bill Belichick, if they won a Super Bowl, he'd have to share or have to give over the majority of the praise to the head coach. He's not willing to do that.
Let's go to Danny in Long Island. Danny.
Couple of things, guys. It's funny because in 2024, it's all about passing, but the Cowboys are gone because they couldn't stop the run and they couldn't run the ball when they needed to. So some things never change in football. I'm shocked that this was a survivable offense because that team was not prepared to play. That defense was the worst I've ever seen. I watched a tight end catch a pass down the sideline like it was a punt, and there wasn't anybody even near him, and then he lumbered down the sideline. It was like watching Rich Eisen do his 40-yard dash, and there was nobody there. But I'm going to take the opposite tack then, Don. I think it's because he's old that he doesn't think there's time to strip it down and rebuild, and maybe they don't think they can rebuild on the fly. And the Eagles, they're bringing it all back. Miami, they collapsed. They're bringing it all back. So I think it's because he's older that maybe, sometimes people...
But what does that mean, though? Danny, if he hires Belichick, they're not rebuilding?
Yeah, well, he may know he's not getting Belichick. Belichick may say, I don't want... For some reason, he may not want to go there. So then what's the next best step? You got just, I guess...
Pete Carroll, you're not rebuilding. He's also 72.
I'm just trying to get into it doesn't make any sense, so I'm trying to come up with a possible mindset. And last but not least, I don't know if you're aware of it, but our friend Peter has taken on the entire Swiftie Nation on his Instagram account. I have seen a level of vitriol directed at Pete over his anti-Swift positions that I've never seen in my life. I mean, it really... He should have a bodyguard at this point.
Oh, don't even worry.
What are you doing, Peter?
Relative to what I've said,
what are you doing?
It's only got, 81 comments? Anything that bad?
Well, what are you going after Swift
listen,
for?
I just said, all I said was I hated, and Beatles on the same page as me, by the way. We're in lockstep. I just absolutely hate seeing her do the swag surf. It was horrifying.
Oh, you just hate having people have fun?
Honestly? Yeah.
Do you care that Donna Kelsey did it or Brittany Mahomes?
Well, I'm not a big fan of Brittany Mahomes either.
You've said that.
Certainly not a fan of the brother. Donna Kelsey, I take no issue with.
He's not cool. His voice is weird. He's kind of a dork. His brother's a tool. His girlfriend's annoying.
And by the way, I'll say it right now. You guys want to play Four Corners? I'll just let you know right now. I'm not playing Four Corners. I'm taking the Bills to smash the Chiefs. Not only do I hate the swag surf, I believe it's going to get stomped out in Buffalo this week.
You realize that they're the defending Super Bowl champions.
Darn right there.
Reason.
Darn right there.
I'm so in lockstep with Peter.
I mean,
I want to Thelma and Louise it. We'll hold hands.
You know what? You guys give me a chance to get 3 points.
All right. Well, yeah,
you'll be doing it, not believing.
It's feeling very much like my 3-3-3-point play.
Good
That's
for
what
you.
it's feeling like. But yeah, I mean, I have to admit.
You don't think the NFL wants Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl?
So you're talking about the script?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Well, how many more people are going to watch it?
Did you see that the Swifties, all of Taylor's fans, put together this tearful video because Jason Kelce is going to retire? It brings a different set of eyeballs.
You know what's crazy, too, about the Kelce thing of it? Do you know that beyond the Taylor Swift part of that, the Kelce's had that a doc series? And there are people who, love Jason Kelce and his family just because of that, too?
Yeah. Jason Kelce looks like he's a good dude.
Absolutely. No, he looks but he's very interesting in that he also seems like a very regular dude in every way, and people just eat him and his family up. I got no issue with the Kelces. I got no issue with Taylor Swift. I think she's super talented. I don't think this Chiefs team is great. I think the timing is just right for the Bills when they're catching them, and the fact that it'll be in Buffalo.
But you just don't like the surfing.
The swag. Listen, I don't like when anyone swag surfs. It reminds me of a bad time in hip hop. I'm not a big group dance kind of guy. Don't like the electric
slide.
Don't like the electric slide.
I can do an electric slide that'll make you cry.
It makes sense. That's one of the reasons he doesn't like it.
Are you?
How can it make you cry? You're just doing what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, but I do.
How can you do it?
Do you really do a good electric
slide?
slide?
Such elan.
So you would get up? Could you get up and do it right now without the song saying anything to you?
It's electric. Yeah, I could do it.
I know the words go. It's electric. But do you remember the actual?
Did you play that as a DJ?
You have to sometimes.
Well, people scream for it.
Cha-Cha Slide, Electric Slide, Cotton Eye Joe, all these stupid songs.
Well, you know why they're stupid? Because dancing is a form of self-expression.
Right.
If you're just going to line dance, do what everybody else is doing, you know what they call you? Sheep.
Yeah, I hate it.
Or down south. I mean, they do that in Texas.
I don't like
it. And all that.
I was at Gillies. Have you ever been?
Yeah, I have. Thank you. And I've been at South Fork, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Never been to any of these places.
I'd go to South Fork, because that's the one thing, Michael and I, big Dallas guys.
Huge.
Not the city, the show. Even the reboot,
city,
we love the
reboot should never have been canceled.
No.
I think Larry Hagman dying that killed it.
That probably did.
I like Dallas the city. I've never watched it. You think the show would still hold up if I were to go back and revisit?
Don't know. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But Larry Hagman's one of the great villains of all time on TV.
Yeah, I'm sad I was a little too young. Like, all I know is they shot JR as like
Who shot JR?
Who shot JR as a thing that was happening in the world, but I was 5 years old.
Well, I mean, there's somebody online right now who wants to program the show, and we always need that. Alex in Patterson, tell us what you'd like to hear.
Patterson. My dad was from Patterson.
Hey, guys. I love your show. Don, I met you a couple years ago when I was in the studio with my cousin. We spoke for a bit in the dining area. I never met Peter. I love the show, guys, but I feel you guys just constantly just pile on the Cowboys and pile on the Cowboys. I watch you guys and I listen to you guys for your perspective on the games and different sports going on. And I feel we got a lot of games and a lot of topics going on this weekend with Josh Allen being 0-2 against Mahomes in the playoffs, with Lamar Jackson being 1-3 in the playoffs, with Shanahan not being able to get to the Super Bowl with the squad. I feel we have so many other topics.
You ever hear of a Football Friday, Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I listen to
and also, you said we're talking about it. Let me just break this down for you. The first hour of the show was about Strowman.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Strowman, not about the Cowboys. Then the first 20 minutes of the 4 o'clock hour, we talked to Art Stapleton. We talked about the Giants. The final 2 minutes, we talked about the Cowboys. And then these next 8 minutes, we talked about. That's 10 minutes out of an hour and 42 that we talked about the Cowboys. And that's too much for you?
Oh, because he's a Cowboy fan. He's upset they lost.
Maybe because I see you guys every day, and at some point every day you guys always bring up the Cowboys.
Well, yeah, the Cowboys are a popular team in New York. Are you a Cowboy fan?
I am a Cowboy fan.
You don't like the fact that we say that they stink. That's what you don't like.
No, because I hear that they stink all day.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bud. Get a new team.
They lost
Get
the
a new
game.
team. Get a new team.
If they won, we'd be talking about them the same way we're talking about all the teams that won.
And by the way,
and it's also news. It came down last night. Jerry Jones isn't firing Mike McCarthy.
And if you really paid attention to the show, we appreciate you listening very much. You seem like a great guy. You would actually hear that, at least for Don and I, we were kind of pulling for Dak. We weren't even hating on the Cowboys this year. I don't think they were a very hateable team this year. I'm not 10 years old anymore. I'm not one of those. I'm not Dave Rothenberg where I live and breathe hating the Cowboys. So I wanted to see Dak perform well. Sure, I was probably pulling for the Packers for my boy Ballard, but I was not prepared to roast. We all assumed we would be talking about a Cowboys game next week. So you're sensitive to it.
So he's sensitive because he's a Cowboy fan, doesn't want us talking about the Cowboys because it's not good. But if they had won, then he'd want us to oil them up in a tub.
Dude, by the way, if we were Stephen A. Smith, all right, and we made we literally had an entire running gimmick of trash talking your team, then you might have a kick coming. No one here hates on the Cowboys like that.
No, but it was so transparent. He's just irritated because he's a Cowboy fan and doesn't want to hear about their dysfunction. Well, I'm sorry. It just came out that Jones isn't firing McCarthy. It's a story, and as much as it pains me to say, it probably goes Giants, Jets, Cowboys as far as popularity of football teams in New York.
Fair point.
You're not losing that much of the audience talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
And Adrian Padilla on Twitter, this is what he
fan.
writes, right? I'm seeing Michael Kay saying a 12-5 divisional team needs to fire the coach and needs big changes. Yet when the Yankees were saying that the last few years, he's the opposite, complains about the Yankee fans being spoiled. I never said they should fire Mike McCarthy.
I did.
Peter did. I was surprised that they didn't. I never called for anybody to be fired.
No, you were surprised because you thought Jerry would be the kind of guy who would.
Jerry's 81 years old. They haven't won a Super Bowl in what? Is it 30 years?
Yes.
Well, it's the 95, right?
All right. That's all I'm saying. But even though you're saying, yeah, we are spoiled, the Yankees won the World Series in 2009. They were in the ALCS 2 years ago. The Cowboys can't win a first-round game with a team that's loaded with all pros. You see the difference?
Don't get mad at me. He's not that old.
But I'm not saying they should fire him.
No, you're right. You're right. But you've talked about all the wins they've had in the regular season. That doesn't work for the Cowboys, but it seems to be okay for the Yankees, though.
No.
It's kind
okay
of a similar
for the
situation.
For the Yankees.
Yeah. It's kind
but
of
not for the fans.
Right, but it's kind of similar that they haven't made major changes. It's kind of the same thing.
That part has come up.
Yeah.
But hold on, we all have had.
I'm just saying. Michael's right. He's never called for McCarthy's job, but I think that the situations are very similar.
It is very
huge
similar.
national teams that are expected to win championships that haven't in a while.
When's the last time they won a Super Bowl? What's the year?
95.
95. Yeah. 95.
How many championships the Yankees have since?
14 years. No, the Yankees have won a championship more recently.
But McCarthy's kind of in the same boat as Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
In the sense.
But don't you think there's a difference that Aaron Boone's taken two teams to the ALCS? McCarthy can't get them past the first round.
And I'll argue another point. The Yankees haven't had in the last couple of years a totally loaded team that just flopped in the playoffs for no reason. They had disappointing seasons with teams that were below average talent, honestly, and had injury issues.
I'm not saying that it's completely apples to apples, but both of these teams immensely talented. Owners that spend.
Are they immensely talented?
Come on, take a look at the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Are the Yankees immensely talented?
But does that get them off their mission statement every year?
Let's continue to talk about.
I like this. This is fun.
Why don't you do your thing, Peter?
All right, guys. This is a BetterHelp commercial.
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
there's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
My favorite babysitter is Annalisa. She's pretty good. She's like my grandma. She says, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" She plays with me. She helps you feel better. Bugs and insects are healthy for you. Amelia took us to the beach. She teaches me some gymnastics. We like color. We draw flowers, and then we go skateboarding.
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
So, you need a suit, a tux even? Maybe you got invited to a fancy party, or you're someone's plus one, and the last time you resorted to a warehouse, you didn't like the way you looked. This time, get a better suit from the Black Tux, and we'll deliver it with time to spare. Try it on. If the fit isn't right, we'll replace it right away, for free. And on the big day, you'll look as great as you feel. With the Black Tux, it's easy to look your best for every occasion. TheBlackTux.com. Formal wear for the moment.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Turn 10 cents into tens of thousands, even over $1 million. On roulette, slots, blackjack, baccarat, and more. Jackpot winnings are at 50 million and counting, and the next could hit any second. So score the latest jackpots offer when you get America's #1 online casino app. DraftKings Casino, the crown is yours.
If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer, choose the right law firm by asking, what are your highest verdicts? What experience do you have? How many lawyers are on staff? How many clients have you represented? Speak to Whites and Luxembourg at 800-LAW-6789 to get unmatched answers. It's the biggest financial decision of your life. Call 800-LAW-6789 or visit mesowin.com.
The Brooklyn way is something that you can't describe. You just gotta know it. You gotta feel it. You gotta be here.
We give everyone the swag, the lingo, the culture, the look. We're just the sauce.
We got everything. Everything you want, we got.
To see somebody going after something and doing like what they love, it's easy to show love. And that's one thing about Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? It's a reflection of who we are.
We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now.
Well, listen to this. ESPN New York presents an evening with Garrett Wilson. It's an intimate event in the Big Apple with the Jets' star wide receiver. For your chance to score passes to this exclusive event, including food and beverage, go to ESPNNewYork.com or find the contest page on the ESPN New York app and submit your entry. An evening with Garrett Wilson is brought to you by Corona and Sansone Auto Mall. Now, I know where this is being held. And the fact that they didn't include that in the read, they obviously don't want that out there. But it's a great place. The food is outstanding. It's going to be an intimate evening.
Oh, yeah.
Garrett Wilson. You know what I'm talking about?
Intimate.
It might be a bacchanal.
See, you saying intimate the way you're saying it's a little odd, but
that's what it's written there.
I know, but the way you're saying
it said intimate, and then in parentheses say it in sotto voce.
I don't know what that would mean.
Soft
hello? Sotto voce?
Yeah, sotto voce. Let's go to David in Little Falls, Tiny Falls, Small Falls. What's up, David?
Hello.
That's a good one. Hey, how you doing, fellas?
Good.
Yeah, I just got up from a power nap, and I turned you on here on the S Network, and I heard you discussing the Dallas Cowboys. And I have a theory about them. I was actually a Dallas Cowboy fan in my youth, but now I'm a closet Cowboy fan. I peek at them, but I'm a Jet fan now, and that was my childhood. But I still
you really jumped to a better place.
Yeah, here's my theory, fellas. I believe the reason why Jerry Jones keeps a lot of these coaches around, especially of late, is he's the classic narcissist. He loves to have a cover guy, a fall guy, someone to defer, blame, dissemble. When things are falling apart, he doesn't have to take the ownership. Hasn't he been the GM, basically him and his family, for like 30 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just mentioned the Yankees. I'm a Met fan, but you defended. Oh, Don, if you were a defense lawyer, you would have been in trouble, Don. Mike had you beaten, and I'm a Met fan. You can't defend that. 5 championships your GM has, Mike, and okay, 2009, the last one. The Cowboys haven't had one since '96, and yet they're promoted as this great team. And Jerry Jones is such a narcissist. A classic. A lot of money can help his narcissism. He constantly dives, dips, ducks all of the responsibility. I can't get it why the fans can't think it through and be like, come out with their pitchforks, not literal, but come out with the pitchforks and demand that the Joneses step down and they can own the team, but get a new GM that has real power. What do you guys think? Am I onto something with the narcissism?
Well, if he wants a fall guy, the fall guy could be anybody that he hires. It doesn't have to be Mike McCarthy. Any coach could be the fall guy. Listen, I got you the players, and you didn't win with them. And it's really a waste of breath and a waste of any kind of like thought process to demand an owner stop owning or stop doing it. They're not going to do it.
But he's how is Jerry Jones ducking responsibility? He is an absolute constant. You don't think this failure is on him? You think he's keeping Mike McCarthy for cover? This guy holds a press conference at the drop of a hat. He's on television constantly. People are blaming Jerry Jones, believe me. And I think he just wants to be the center of attention, negative, positive. That's where I believe the narcissism comes from. He wants to be the topic of conversation, whether it's blame, whether it's praise. He doesn't want to share it with anybody. He is the Dallas Cowboys, for better or worse. He took responsibility for this. He said it. It's on me. Don't look at Mike. Look at me, because he wants to be looked at, Michael, no matter what. I didn't understand half that phone call.
It was a little meandering. I don't think you got destroyed in the Yankee argument. I think you brought up a good point. The Yankees and the Cowboys are kind of on the same level.
I mean, I'm not getting
it's just
on
that
you.
The Yankees have had more success of late.
Well, it's one championship compared to. Well,
but
so
since
the Yankees
their last championship, the Yankees have won 5. Since the Cowboys' last championship,
but since 2000. They both, the Cowboys have none and the Yankees have one. I'm just saying the expectations are high. They're the center of attention in their sport.
But
they seem to have all of the ability, even though there's a salary cap. The Dallas Cowboys have a way. They make tons of money, and they have had tons of talent. And the expectations are Super Bowl or bust, and they have failed. The difference is that Jerry does change coaches. But the Yankees, I just looked at, if you look at Aaron Boone and you look at Mike McCarthy, there are similarities, except Mike McCarthy won someplace else. But there's been a lot of winning in the regular season that with the Yankees, you could say, has been able to keep Aaron employed, and it's been okay, but it hasn't really helped the Cowboys, who have been routinely making the playoffs, but have had very little success in the postseason.
But both organizations have taken the route of being more stable. 12 years of Torrey, 10 years of Girardi, and now all these years of Boone. They just don't fire people.
Right.
And then the Cowboys just had 10 years of Jason Garrett and got nothing out of them.
But I have heard a little conversation from you and others saying, but look at the Yankees' regular season success. Look at how much they've won, and they're there every year. Well, so are the Cowboys, but
the Cowboys get knocked out in the first round.
Well, the Yankees.
I mean, they won the division last year. The Cowboys this past season.
Right. What is Mike? How many playoff games? They won a round last year. And the Yankees won a round against Cleveland 2 years ago.
Right.
But otherwise, it's been somewhat similar. Neither have gone to a Super Bowl or World Series.
But since their Super Bowl, right, the Cowboys have not gone to an NFC Championship game.
They've won since their last Super Bowl.
The Yankees have gone to World Series. They've gone to ALCSs. So they've gotten to that last step.
Not lately.
Of course, lately. 2 years ago. They lost to the Astros. They got swept by the Astros 2 years ago.
Right.
And this year, they didn't make the playoffs.
And the Cowboys made it to the divisional. But there are some similarities.
It's similar, but the Yankees have not been as talented and healthy as the Cowboys have been, and they haven't had the level of flop. Now, I would argue, I did say this at the time, and I maintain this. I do think the way the Yankees lost to the Astros was brutal. I think that was really, really tough.
But it would be as if the Cowboys went into the game against the Packers without Dak Prescott and without CeeDee Lamb.
Even beyond that, they would have beaten the Packers and then lost to the Eagles, let's say, who were a better team.
Right.
Because let's be fair.
The Yankees were banged up in that Astros series.
Yeah, they were.
They really were. I mean, again, there's no such thing as excuse. I don't buy that. There are excuses. There are reasons why you lose.
Now, the
Astros were better.
Now, I do think that those reasons are still on the team, but I don't think they're on the manager. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
We're talking about Mike McCarthy. You can't look at Aaron Boone and blame him for the injury problems we've had on the Yankees.
No, absolutely not.
And for
somebody,
the record,
I guess, has to be blamed, but not him.
Yeah, I agree. The whole conversation starts on a false premise, though, because Michael A. never said the Yankees absolutely should not fire Aaron Boone and never said that the Cowboys should fire Mike McCarthy. I, on the other hand, came on the air on Tuesday and said, I was shocked to hear Greg Olson on the broadcast say, anyone who thinks they should fire Mike McCarthy is crazy.
And by the way, he doubled down today. He said, I guess I was right. He said that on Twitter.
He must be friends with Mike McCarthy, right? There has to be some, I don't know what he was.
Why don't you listen to what Don has to say about BetMGM?
Oh, sure I will.
Now, there's never been...
Guys, let's be honest. Buying pants sucks. It should not be this difficult. I'm looking for that one pair of pants that does everything. These just came in. They're the only pant from Fabletics Men. 4-way stretch, done. All-way stretch, you're going to feel the difference. The best thing about the only pant, honestly, everything. You almost forget about the deal that you're getting. Same premium quality as Lululemon, but at a third of the price.
I have to find a babysitter.
I have a lot of questions.
When can they start?
Today? Now? Tomorrow?
How about Saturday and Sunday? I need any kind of day.
My wife and I haven't been out in a year.
We need a date night. No offense.
Help!
Can I check reviews?
Are they background checked? Do I have to go pick them up?
Can they handle all this?
From babysitters to nannies to daycare centers, find all the care you need at care.com.
The next Powerball drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles, and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
All of the above. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
All right, so a little information on the Cowboys, talking about the Cowboys not firing Mike McCarthy. So check this out. It's pretty interesting stuff. So they, the Cowboys are 5-6 as a favorite in the postseason since 1996. One of 4 teams with a losing record as a playoff favorite over that span. The other 3, the Browns, the Giants, the Chargers. Dak Prescott is now 2-5 in his playoff career, tied for the worst record by any quarterback in playoff history, minimum 5 starts, along with Alex Smith and Billy Kilmer. How about that? They are the first team in NFL history with 3 straight, first team, by the way, in NFL history, with 3 straight 12-win seasons without a conference championship game. Forget about going to the Super Bowl, without getting the conference championship. First team ever. The Cowboys have also now lost 3 straight playoff games as at least a 7-point favorite, the longest such streak by any team since the 1970 merger. So that's pretty bad stuff. And that's not just Mike McCarthy. That's a lot of coaches. It could be that Jerry just takes the air out of the room.
You think? There's just something about Jerry where it has to. Listen, there's a lot of attention on the Cowboys to begin with anyway. Even in a sport that prints money and ratings, the highest ratings always seem to involve Cowboy games. The expectations are high. The pressure is tremendous. And Jerry just, really, what other owners like him? Mark Cuban? Maybe.
Cuban, maybe.
But still not even really in the vicinity. I mean, they show him more than the coach on the sidelines. He goes down there. He has press conferences at the drop of a hat.
He has his own weekly.
Yeah, exactly.
He has an AI version of himself that you can talk to in the stadium.
I'd love that.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, there's other owners that have say, but he's also the general manager of the team. So that gives him the excuse to hold the press conferences and all that. But he gobbles up the room, and outside of Parcells, which was the aberration, and that was even a long time ago because the last year was 06. We're just finishing up the 2023 season. Is that he wants the spotlight, and he doesn't want coaches that are going to take up any of his attention.
And it's amazing, too. You say that he talks because he's the GM. Most GMs don't open their mouth other than Brian Cashman. I mean, we couldn't get Joe Douglas on the air as the whole thing was imploding. And then even after he spoke to the media, he didn't come on the air with us. So just because you're a GM doesn't mean you have to talk after every single game.
He is the Dallas Cowboys. And he doesn't want anybody taking any of his shine away. And you said it so perfectly earlier in the show. If he fired Mike McCarthy, it would be the moral imperative to get Bill Belichick. And I think Belichick would have taken the job because he wants a Super Bowl, and the Cowboys have immense talent and are very close to winning that Super Bowl. But if they did win that Super Bowl, it would be Bill Belichick's Super Bowl. Think of the attention that Bill would command over the next couple of years. Winning a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick wins another Super Bowl, matches Tom Brady. Bill Belichick passes Don Shula for most wins in the history of the NFL. That's a lot of attention away from Jerry Jones.
Now, let's move to Belichick, because it's being reported by several people that it looks like he's taking the Falcons' job. Really? He feels comfortable with Ritter as his quarterback? I mean, what are you doing?
What do you mean? I don't like what you're saying right now.
But think about it.
Don't forget who else they have.
He's getting into a situation. Who else?
You always know. You always knew that it was a matter of time before Belichick and Heineke linked up. We all knew.
So, I mean, is he in a better situation than he is with Jones and Zappi?
It's very interesting. This one, as I've seen things heat up, I did not even think about Atlanta.
No way.
But give Bill credit. If he takes the job, it is going to be because he plans on being the coach for a while. Right?
Yeah, but he needs those 15 wins, Don.
No, but listen. He'll get. I think he's going to probably sign a 3-year contract.
Right.
So, safe to say he'll get the 15 wins within the next 3 years. They're in a winnable division. I mean, as bad as Ritter was and everybody involved with Atlanta, with their coaching situation and everything, they came down to the last weekend with a chance to make the playoff. Would you be shocked if the Atlanta Falcons won the South next year?
Yeah, with a 7-9 record or 7-10 record.
No, and by the way, perfect fit for Belichick, because Atlanta seemed to be the only team in the league that handled their quarterback the way he handled Mac Jones and Zappi. Right. It was Heineke and Ritter going back and forth the entire year.
But he probably thinks I might be able to go out and get a quarterback. There's some free agents. Maybe he signs Cousins. Cousin comes back from the Achilles. That's a better quarterback. Go out, win 9 games, win the division, maybe win a playoff game, breaks the record the next year, and now he finds himself with where Atlanta can be back again.
How about Brady coming out of retirement and quarterbacking the Falcons?
Can you imagine how weird that would be for the 28-3 to see the 28-3 exercised by the Falcons? I'll say this, Don, the best point that you've made, it's the point guard of the year, and I stole it today when I went on JP and Brian Mitchell's. No, I didn't. I didn't
think you would.
When I went on JP and Brian Mitchell's show in D.C. today, and they were asking me about the rebuild in Washington and how long it could take, and I just said, this whole idea that a rebuild's going to take a really long time is a complete fallacy these days.
But how many C.J. Strouds are out there?
Oh, okay, but whether it's C.J. Stroud, C.J. Stroud's not the only example. We can look around.
Give me a team that turned it around in 1 year.
Well, hold on. Full turnaround to this degree?
Like the Texans did. It ain't easy.
No, it's not easy. But if you were to have me, I mean, honestly, Green Bay, this was supposed to be their rebuild year. They got nobody.
But they were coming from a 9-win year, though.
They were coming from a 9-win year, losing a Hall of Fame quarterback, lost Bakhtiari most of the season. Watson has not been the guy that he was initially his rookie year. Now he's looking more like it again. But nobody was writing down the Packers to do that this year.
It didn't last. It wasn't sustainable. But the Giants being able to jump to a 9-7-1 team and win a playoff game the very next year. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it wasn't sustainable, but it's not crazy. The point is, it doesn't take 5 years.
And they do have the 8th pick in the draft, and there's rumors that they could be trading for Fields.
Or they go out and get someone who they think is already good, maybe they like. And also, just everything in the NFL, guys, is so fluid at this point. A little while ago, I was shaking in my boots at the prospect of trying to rebuild. Oh, you got to rebuild. You're rebuilding in the same division as the Giants. I mean, they just won a playoff game. You're rebuilding with the Eagles. Well, the Eagles are going to dominate that division for years to come. Do you really know? Can you guys tell me that my team won't be able to rebuild in the NFC East next year? No one knows. This league changes constantly.
Yeah. And in that division, you can win the division going 9-8, and now you're in the postseason.
Oh, exactly. Not to mention it's the NFC South. And, Don, you could have 2 different seasons in the same season. Who wasn't in play this year in the NFC South? They all were.
Now, we're talking about quarterbacks. I thought this was a very
Carolina,
interesting thing that we should address, because, the quarterback that we're talking about is quarterback of the Jets. The savior of the Jets, the owner of the Jets.
Yeah, that's the owner.
Nick Bosa talked about the Packers, and in talking about the Packers, took a shot at the exalted Aaron Rodgers. Listen to Nick.
What Kyle talks about is the whole team has improved throughout the entire season. They've gotten a lot of guys healthy, and they have a lot of the same guys from the past really good teams they've had, and a quarterback who does exactly what he's coached to do, which Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer and unbelievable, but he kind of went outside of the realm of coaching, and sometimes it's good when you have a guy who does what he's coached to do.
Interesting, right? So when we say he's running the Jets, he's running the Jets, and when he's on the field next year, he's going to be running the Jets. And that's why he wants an offensive coordinator that's his buddy, because he doesn't want to be told what to do. Now, and listen, he's talking about quarterbacking and quarterbacking at a master's degree level. So I guess he has that right, but sometimes it does get frustrating, and you need a special type of coach that's going to let you do that. And LaFleur is such a great offensive mind, it probably drove him nuts.
Well, that's the difference, right? In Green Bay, you could tell it was bothering them, and they were ready to move on to Love, and right now that looks pretty good because the Packers are still alive and Love's playing great. But it did rub LaFleur the wrong way. They felt like they had his replacement ready to go. They had no problem drafting him, even though Rodgers didn't want him to. The Jets have no problem with this. Do you think anybody in the Jets organization has a problem with the power Rodgers has? They gave it to him. All right, so what's the issue? And the only people that would have a problem are Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas, and both are on board because you can make the case they both have jobs because Aaron likes them. So the Jets have zero problem with this. They don't have a replacement. I don't think you think Joe Douglas is going to be mad that he can't draft a quarterback? Or is he going to be just on board? Hey, I want to try to win right now, so I'm going to go get a talent that can accentuate Aaron Rodgers. He'll regret it after the fact, but right now, do you think he really wants to tick off Aaron Rodgers?
Well, what every GM should look at, at the risk of ticking off a 41-year-old quarterback. He's playing next year at the end of the year at 41, right?
That's it?
Do what the Packers ticked off Favre when they drafted Rodgers. They ticked off Rodgers when they drafted Love. And my question would be, how'd it work out for them?
Exactly.
You have to pick the replacement. This is a 41-year-old quarterback. How are you leaving yourself naked 2 years from now?
It's putting on your big boy pants and making the hard decisions. We talked about it here. The Giants, let's be real, the Giants have been messed up since they went out. We love the guy. Since they spent their draft pick on Saquon to try to squeeze something out of Eli and held on to Eli for too long, trying to be too good a guys. Same now in the case of the Jets, it's not even about it's not about trying to be a good guy. It's about just fear.
You're afraid of Rodgers. You're mad.
Yeah, because Eli wasn't demanding this.
No.
I think John Mara wanted to give it to Eli.
Yes.
But Rodgers was like, listen, I want to win another Super Bowl. I don't want to tutor another quarterback. And I kind of get his perspective of like, listen, I'm coming to the end of the line here. You could draft a wide receiver, help us win now. I mean, you can understand Aaron Rodgers in his late 30s at the time saying, I don't want to worry about the future. I want to worry about the now. But the Packers are like, I'm sorry, it's not about one guy. We've got to worry about our future. The Jets don't care about the future. They want to try to win this now. Now, the Packers were in a different situation. They already had won a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. They already have a history of winning. The Jets don't have that. I mean, they really had no choice, guys.
Think about it. Rodgers was 36, I guess, when they drafted.
What was it, 2020, right? Was that
37. I mean, you can make a compelling argument. You should get the replacement for a third. The Jets have no kick coming. Of course they have to get a replacement. Because if Rodgers is a good quarterback, when he's done in 2 years, they're not going to have a high draft pick.
But why did you get Rodgers? You didn't draft Rodgers. You got into bed with Rodgers to make you relevant and to help you win the elusive Super Bowl. So the Jets really aren't interested in the future. Can I forget about ticking Aaron Rodgers off? Can Joe Douglas worry about the future when the present is now to try to get the most out of you can out of a 40-year-old quarterback to protect him with an offensive line that was a sieve last year, weapons that weren't nearly as strong as we thought they were? Can the Jets really afford to think about 26 and 27 when they're trying to win this championship now with Rodgers?
You can do both. The Packers were still trying to win a championship despite picking Love.
By the way, I understand the Jets need other things. But what is more important for the future of your team than...
For the future, but Don's right. He's here for the now.
I get it. And I get
you got him for the now.
And I get it. And how many picks do the Jets have this year? They draft first at 10. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is this. You don't considering people say that there's a bunch of quarterbacks, some that are more ready than others, Aaron Rodgers would be threatened or angry that you use your 10th pick on getting the guy you think could be next?
I don't think he'd be threatened. He would be angry because you're not making the team better for this year.
Okay, well, Aaron, I'm sorry. We have a lot. They have a lot of other pieces.
They've had no backbone with this guy. This is not going to start now. They're not drafting.
But honestly,
so they got to go get a wide receiver.
They might draft a quarterback in the 5th round.
Right, exactly. But that's not a real thing.
But let's take the attention off of Rodgers for a second. If you're Joe Douglas, how could you even think about the future? You probably have Aaron Rodgers for 2 more kicks at the can. Since he didn't play last year, there's a chance that he could be your quarterback in 24 or 25 with a 10th overall pick, which we don't know if any of the big gun quarterbacks are going to be available at 10 anyway. You're going to take a flyer on the future or try to win now when you need offensive line, you need another weapon. I don't even think Aaron Rodgers has to twist Joe Douglas's arm. They are all in on Rodgers and now. And then after Rodgers is done, Michael's been saying it forever. It's going to be scorched earth, but if they win between now and then, they're not going to care.
So, Anthony Greek dug up some, this is for Peter with the commies, some one-year turnarounds. The Steelers in 2003 was 6-10. They drafted Big Ben. They won 15-1. Dolphins in 2007 were 1-15. In 2008, they won 11-5. They lost in the Wildcat game. Chiefs in 2012, they went 2-14. Then the next year, they won 11-5, lost in the wild card round. Andy Reid brought in Alex Smith. And then the Colts were 2-14 in 2011, drafted Andrew Luck, won 11-5, lost in the wild card. So those are the high profile. So.
And by the way, Jacksonville 2 years ago is a pretty good example. The Redskins, when they drafted RG3, though that whole thing fell apart, it can happen.
What you just need to get the quarterback or get the coach.
Exactly.
Because the Jets are a great example too. In 1996, they went 1-15. They get Bill Parcells. The next year, they go 9-7. Didn't make the playoffs, but they won 8 more games because you went out and they got Bill Parcells. If you get the right coach, if you get the right quarterback, you can turn it around. Now, those are examples of 1 year. But to your point, Peter, the point that you stole from me.
Thank you.
These 5-year plans, no 5 years.
They're not accepted
They're
anymore.
3, maybe 2. If you take over an awful franchise, it's logical with the right drafting and the right coach that within a couple of years you should be definitely moving in the right direction, if not knocking on a door for playoffs. If you're not signing up for a 5-year rebuild, you won't be given that long of a leash.
Let's listen to the Packers offensive coordinator Adam Stanovich, and he gave the difference between the offense with Love and Rodgers at quarterback.
I think it's a peeled back version for sure, just because of all the new people. I think that plays a lot into it. Not necessarily Aaron versus Jordan, but our rosters in general with the inexperience that we have. So it's more of a peeled back version. And then just like under center, play pass, trying to lean on the run game as much as possible, where when you have Aaron, you kind of tend to throw it more, right? So it's stuff like that where you just go off the personnel you have and do what you think is best.
So we know what the Jets are getting. They're getting an outstanding quarterback who's going to run the show.
Yep, we all knew that. By the way, did anyone spend much time thinking about sort of the most basic premise in all of sports,
which is
when a team is willing to part with someone who's been absolutely incredible, they may know something.
Well, I always say, if you get a player from a rival, be careful.
But you can apply the rival thing, I think, to any, it's like the same principle if it's someone as great as Rodgers.
Right. I mean,
maybe Gutekunst knew a little something that between dealing with him, the shenanigans back and forth every year.
I think he takes the air out of the room. They know it.
Maybe a little bit also. Maybe even a little bit also of being up close and seeing that his body's going through it a little bit. The injuries starting to add up, missing a few games here. Oh, maybe the fact that in big playoff spots he's been laying an egg. Maybe the fact that as great as he is, we're talking all-time talent, maybe the most of any ever, that there's one Super Bowl ring to show for it. And guess what? The other day to entertain Ballard when he came over for the game, because I'm a good friend, when he walked in the house, I turned on a Packers-Falcons playoff game from the year the Packers won the Super Bowl.
What a friend.
Do you know how old that game looked?
It was in black and white, right?
Yeah, how different Rodgers' face. I went, oh my God, this was the guy when all we knew about him was that he was an incredible quarterback. That's it. Every player playing in that game, gone from this league. It was a lifetime ago that he won a Super Bowl. Way before ayahuasca, Pat McAfee, all of the things of today that we now associate with Rodgers did not exist when he was a champion.
Yeah, it's a different NFL, and it's a different guy. This year, it's time to finally lose that weight the safe and natural way with NJ Diet. Their results are nearly twice.
Hey. Rental? Yeah. You? Yeah. You know your shoe's untied.
Oh. Don't let a boxy suit ruin your night. Read from theblacktucktux.com.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
Custom Ink helps us celebrate and drive our students' achievements with custom gear. They love Custom Ink's different styles and designs. We love how Custom Ink makes the process simple with their easy-to-use design lab, expert artists ready to help, and unbeatable customer service. Custom Ink allows our kids to show everyone their accomplishments and the pride they have in our school. When we place an order, I know they got our back, so we can focus on the kids.
Custom Ink has hundreds of products to help you feel connected. Upload your logo or start your design today at customink.com.
For far too long, millions of Americans have been strapping on uncomfortable work boots pushed by out-of-touch corporate types. Hey! To design boots and apparel that hardworking men and women actually want, you have to get on the job site and listen.
And that's why Brunt names gear after guys like us.
Apart from making our boots and apparel innovative, reliable, and insanely comfortable, we back all of our gear with a 30-day on-the-job risk-free trial. You deserve better, you deserve Brunt.
Try any of Brunt's gear on the job for 30 days risk-free.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Everything you've seen me do was made possible by what you don't see. Because when you're not looking, I go to work. Strength isn't a given. It's grown. It's earned and tested. We all have the strength to see what's possible. It's up to us to unlock it. Tonal, be your strongest.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person.
Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly. To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love have an opportunity to rocket to the top of this list with another impressive playoff showing in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs this weekend. Their postseason careers got off to great starts, but can they best the three players that currently lead the highest passer ratings for the first two playoff games in their career? South River, New Jersey's own Joe Theismann leads this list with Rodney Peete and Dan Pastorini a close second and third. Stroud also has a shot at some more history in his rookie season. If he throws for 281 yards in Baltimore on Saturday, he will surpass Andrew Luck for the most passing yards by a rookie, including the postseason. Earlier in this season, he had a 4-week stretch throwing for 300-plus yards, but in his other 9 games this year, he has been held to 280 or less, including his debut in Baltimore when the Ravens beat the Texans 25-9.
You want to pick up with what we were just talking about off the air?
No, it'd be a great show, but you can't.
Don would go.
I mean, some of our best shows are done with the mic off.
Yeah,
but we go places that we just can't go. Well, some people can go there, not us.
No, we went very political there during the break.
Yeah.
Keep it off the air, you know what I mean? Save it for AM, perhaps.
You know, it's the ESPN New York Superbox Bonanza 5. This year, each qualifier will take
5 years
home,
already?
Yeah, a $25 Fanatics gift card and have a chance at one of 10 Superbox prizes. Let's see, be caller number 111.
What are you doing?
Right now at 888-987-ESPN to select a box for the big game with a chance to win $500 in the first and third quarters, $1,000 at halftime, and a final score payout of $2,000. All brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey and the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey. Knicks won last night. They beat the Rockets. Rockets are an improved team. They're not the pushovers they used to be. But there is something that I want to push back against. A lot of people say, well, wake me up when they get to the postseason. Well, let's take a look at what the Knicks have done. And I think it's fair to say that they've done a lot. The Knicks have played very, very well. What are they, 7 games over 500?
24-15.
Oh, so it's 9. All right. So,
right, 24, yeah, I think I got that right.
This is a team that, under Thibodeau, doesn't really find its sea legs until February. So their best basketball is ahead of them, not behind them. They usually struggle, and they've had a very unforgiving schedule.
24-17, so I'm sorry.
So I was 7. Yeah. I was right.
Right.
Corrects me when I'm right.
He's tried his best.
I understand. And so you look at where they are right now. They're at 24-17. The Cavaliers are in the 4th spot at 24-15. They're tied with the Heat at 24-17. So you can't tell me the regular season doesn't mean anything. It means a lot. The Knicks, it's imperative for the Knicks, if they want to have a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, they have to finish 4th or 5th. I don't care about home field advantage. 4th or 5th. If they finish 7th, all right, they're playing the Bucks. If they finish 6th, they're playing the Sixers. If they finish 8th, they're facing the Celtics. The rest of the season is gigantic for them to try to reach the Eastern Conference Finals. You must finish 4th or 5th to eliminate going up against one of the big teams right away.
Here's the problem, but both could be true. The regular season means a lot for the Knicks for all the reasons that you said, but does it mean as much for the Bucks, the Celtics, the Sixers? Like, so that's the issue. Is so they beat up on the Sixers a couple of Fridays ago, and it was a pretty impressive win in Philadelphia. But is that the way it's going to translate if they met in a 7-game series?
No.
Like, that's the issue. The one thing I love about the Knicks is that they're one of the good teams in basketball that still feels the need to go out there and ball every single night. They don't have any load management situations. They go out and they play. They play major minutes. That's the way Thibodeau likes to do it. And they are engaged in every single game. They might not win every game, but they're engaged. There's no mail-ins for them. So they take advantage of it. But with this run, which has been impressive, which they are also terrific at home. They're 500 on the road. They played the most road games of any team in the NBA, which means that they're going to have a lot of home games in the second half of the season.
10 of the next 12 games are at Madison Square Garden.
So there's a lot of things that are really working for them, but how real is it once we get to the postseason? You saw what the Pacers have done now. The Magic look like they're not going away. So they're going to really have to do this to try to get a high seed. But I think what people are waiting for when you say, well, wake me in the playoffs is, all right, what are you going to, is this going to translate to you playing in the conference final, or is it going to be like it's been maybe the second round, bounced in the first round? Like, I think people need to be convinced that this is something that can translate into the postseason.
Yeah, and I think the best way for them to do well in the postseason is finish 4th or 5th. And you want the Heat to finish 6th. Let the Heat knock off one of the big teams. Let the Heat finish 7th, knock off the Sixers. Let the Heat do the heavy lifting, and then take your chance again with the Heat. And I think the Knicks are still going to make a trade. You know, the trade deadline is the first week in February. I think they're still going to make a trade. They've got some things that they can dangle. They can dangle Fournier's contract, which is coming off the books this year. They've got all the first-round draft picks. They can do that. They could dangle Quentin Grimes.
I guess that's who.
Well, I mean, you've got to get creative and find the guy that you think fits. I don't think they're making the deal in February, Don, that's going to make them a championship team. They're making the deal in February that might get them to the Eastern Conference Finals. The deal that's going to make them a championship team to get them that great player, I don't know if that's DeJounte Murray, but that deal I think is going to be made during the offseason.
Probably.
So I like what they've done. The fact that they have all these home games coming up, and that's now a home field advantage at Madison Square Garden. That's great. They played a rough part of their schedule. They're still 7 games over 500. Well, everything they've done, you've got to like what they've done so far.
No question. But I guess the reason maybe we haven't felt the buzz around them, if you go back a couple of years ago when they were, the 4 seed, they beat the Hawks, or at least they beat the Hawks in that playoff game, and the fans took to the streets, ended up losing that series. And then last year, going to the second round. All right. Been there, done that, all right? The bloom is off the rose. I mean, making the playoffs, winning a round. Okay, you've accomplished that already. Now fans want to see if you're ready to take the next step. I think they may be able to take that next step. But can you say it with conviction? Can you be like Perkins, who came on and said he thinks they can win a championship? I'm not ready to go there, Michael. I think if things go the right way, if they stay healthy, and Brunson and Randall are playing well, and Hartenstein looks like he's for real, and Mitchell Robinson comes back and continues to do what he did before he got hurt, this team could play in the third round. But are you betting on that?
No, I bet they go 2 rounds again, but, it could happen. It could happen. One thing I don't like is that Josh Hart, you can see he's compromised. Like, he drove the lane, a ball that he would dunk, and he just softly laid it in. He's got jumper's knee, and you can see he's not elevating the way he used to. I would shut him down to see if that rest get him better, but that's not what Thibodeau does. That's not what Josh Hart wants.
It's also hard to do that, and then get yourself the high seed that you want.
And also, you sat down Brunson for 2 games because of the calf injury. Calf's a killer, by the way. And Julius Randle wasn't the same player. He just wasn't. And then yesterday, he comes back, and they both get over 30 points. So they play the Wizards tonight, and we'll have it right here on 98.7.
Zards.
Yeah.
By the way, you tossed out the record books.
When those 2 teams meet?
Oh, come
Wes Unseld.
Yeah, think about the legacy.
Yeah, Jack Marin.
Bernard King.
Yeah.
Manute Bol.
Kevin Lockery.
Oh, God. Darrell Walker.
How about the pictures on the did you see the broadcast yesterday? The 2 tallest players in the history of the NBA. Manute Bol and Georgie Murison. And Kenny Albert broke out 2 pictures of little Kenny with them. It was beautiful. Heartwarming.
You call George Murison Georgie?
Yeah. A lot of people call him Georgie Murison.
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Lived in D.C. when he played.
Homely, I've heard that, but I never heard Georgie. No, listen, I think he owns it. I mean, I don't think he'd have a problem with that.
If you called somebody homely, I think they have a problem with it.
But I think you get to the level where you're like, yeah, unfortunately.
No, I don't think you ever get to that level.
But if you had an all-ugly team, he's your center.
Oh, my God.
Oh, there's no question.
Well, how about Bogdanovich?
Oh, you know what? Them together, is it's like a horror movie.
Why are you guys so mean?
Well,
it's not like you're 2 oil paintings.
No, but that's a given.
Next
to
Murison, I am.
No, I just think some things.
Is Murison still with us? Because you shouldn't be talking about the dead like that.
I think I recently heard that he coached ball in D.C.
Lonzo Ball?
No, basketball in D.C.
You know, one of my least favorite things when coaches go, "This guy can score the basketball." What else? What else is he going to score?
But when does it get to the point? It's kind of like what's the phrase that bothers you about? You could be more wrong instead of right. But when it's so universally incorrect, does it all of a sudden now become correct? Like, it's used so much, score the basketball. then I think it's now become universally accepted.
It is accepted. It's ridiculous.
It's accepted for its stupidity. And there's two other things I've been meaning to talk about that bother me.
All right.
If I was an NFL player and a guy popped up and did the first round thing, I'd break his arm.
Popped up into the what?
Pointing for the first down, break his arm. I'd get thrown out of the game. I would snap his arm in half.
I don't think you would.
I just can't stand that.
What?
Really? Even when you're trailing, too, you pop up and get the first down. We know if it's the first down.
Hold on. Not all first down points are equal.
Right. Okay.
And sometimes they're done in crazier ways.
Again, I would break someone's arm. Again, I'd be thrown out of the league.
That's the thing?
And you know what bothers me?
Don, does that bother you?
What Aiden Hutchinson does?
Really? You guys are no fun.
Aiden Hutchinson does?
Yeah.
The war paint. I mean, lamp-black is now turned into war paint.
So that bothers you, too?
It infuriates me.
So
what are you doing?
So real quick.
That doesn't bother me.
It drives me nuts.
So you have no problem with Taylor Swift doing the swag surf.
Right.
But someone jumping up after a big play, Josh Allen finds a way, scrambles on 4th and 9, picks up 10, first down, hits them with one of these, and you're going, that makes me sick?
It makes me sick.
So, I mean, if it's done, if you're down 3 touchdowns with 4 minutes to play,
by the way, that's bad guy. But
happens all the time.
That's bad guy.
Oh, there's a lot of bad guys.
But more often than not, Don, the first down signal does not come with a team down 20 and celebrating a first down.
We don't need the players to tell us his first down. We got the yard marker, the whole deal.
So you want 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
No, I like big gains. I don't need you to tell me.
You like the old days.
These guys are such divas. They're such. I mean, they're narcissists.
But they are entertaining us. I mean, honestly, back in the day,
but you don't like Taylor Swift surfing, though.
No.
A young, beautiful American girl, very talented. You don't like that.
I don't need a room full of rich people doing a dance.
Oh, but you like a field full of rich people pointing first down.
Well, I'm there to watch them. They're the entertainers.
Like when somebody picks off a ball on the 5-yard line and they're 95 yards the other way?
No.
That's good, too.
No. I actually,
and you know, like
that bothers you.
That one bothers me. I hate the running to the end zone. It's been fading a bit. It's not as bad as it was a year ago or 2 years ago. I hated the running to the.
And you're okay with painting half your face, like you're a member of KISS.
It's not what I would want my team to do, but I don't mind. But for me, I appreciate the moment when it's your team that picks up that big first down and the person jumps up and points. I feel it because I'm excited as well. If it's unnecessary, it wasn't even a good play, then I don't feel the same way about it. But not all points are created equal.
Again, listen, you could say what you want.
You know what? You got no business talking today the way you're covered, the way you've ripped off me and the Mannings style.
You know what? I have been a quarter zip guy well before you.
Yeah, but you know what?
I was doing that on the K-Rod.
But you didn't. Can I tell you what? You disgraced the quarter zip, and we hate what you've done with it.
The T-shirt underneath?
Yes.
Well, you'd rather have rug fur.
I'd rather have either a collar shirt like a gentleman.
No.
Or zip it up so you're not showing us so much Hanes white tee.
It's not a Hanes white tee. It's a Fordham tee.
Oh, even worse. Look at that. Peyton and Eli, they wouldn't be caught dead showing that much white tee. Don, am I wrong?
I showed a lot of white tee on the K-Rod cast. You never said a word.
Well, that means I wasn't watching.
And you haven't even asked me if K-Rod's coming back for a third year.
Hey, is K-Rod coming back?
Yeah, it doesn't look that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we know Rod isn't.
Rod's gone. So there was a.
You hate to see the Rod.
The Rod spot was open.
Excuse me?
The Rod spot was open.
Sure.
Because he's now exclusively a Fox talent.
And apparently in great shape based on the picture I saw of him working out with his new girlfriend.
His girlfriend's in great shape.
Well, no, and it said he now has a six-pack. You didn't see that?
Oh, she's an unbelievable trainer.
Yeah, and he's been training with her, and he now has a six-pack.
I have good news. George Marasan is still with us.
I knew it. I bet he's 58 years old.
52.
Wow.
Would you call him ugly to his face?
Wait, so there's a chance he will...
If it came up in conversation, like I don't know, just going to walk up to somebody, you know what, you're ugly.
How would it come up in conversation? He'd have to say, am I ugly,
exactly.
Don?
So Don's point, you wouldn't bring it up. And by the way, good news. You know what that means if he's 52?
What?
He could be 53 this Saturday.
Yeah.
And it would actually happen.
He's a Valentine's baby. So he will be 53 on the 14th of February.
Is that a cruel twist of fate?
What? To be that ugly and be a Valentine's baby?
I'm not saying he's ugly. You're saying
so tell me that he's good looking then.
He's a good-looking guy. There's somebody who loves him.
But see now what you're doing. See that now you're just being that guy.
You got it
first down.
Yeah, you know what you got to do there.
What?
You got to use the line Gorilla Monsoon used probably during every wrestling match of all time.
What's that?
That's a face only a mother could love. That's Mirazon. I'm sure his mom thinks he's beautiful.
You're getting breaking news, and you guys kept interrupting me.
What is it?
There's probably not going to be a K-Rod this year.
Oh. Well, you don't have confirmed news though.
Oh, I've got pretty good news.
Will he be replaced or will it?
No, because I think from what I'm hearing, they're going to go Nerdcast.
By the way, but you didn't even try to suggest what I suggested.
How do you know what I tried to do?
The K-Cast with the three of us.
How do you know what I tried to do?
You would have told us.
I was asked, would you be interested in a Nerdcast? I said, no, I wouldn't watch it, and I wouldn't be interested in doing it.
And did you say, you know what would be good? We could just take my afternoon show and do that instead.
Yeah, how were the numbers when I appeared on?
The numbers throughout were great.
All right, but so I didn't damage them.
No.
And I'm sure Peter would only help.
I think the thing that really spooks them, to be honest, to New York.
So adding us would not...
Because Alex played 13 years with the Yankees.
13 years in New York.
That wasn't too New York.
Grew up a Keith Hernandez fan, a Met fan, even though he was in Miami.
What if
because there was some thought about, K9.
What if you were to tell
Michael and Chris Russo to New York?
Would it be called K9?
Yeah. Because of the dog.
I love that.
Yeah, and 9 innings.
To New York?
Yeah, to New York.
What about
they're
going to New York?
They're going to go
the biggest market.
Yeah.
So the Nerdcast.
Well, what I said when that was presented to me, I said, you put every Yankee Red Sox game on Sunday Night Baseball. And so New York actually works.
So
obviously.
So Peter, if you had a choice, to New York or to Nerd?
For baseball, by the way, a sport that you want to try to make less nerdy.
Yeah, but no, I think they're leaning into nerd.
How about this? Did you suggest to them you do it solo, but you have a tape recorder, and every 5 minutes you just play either something from McAfee or Stephen A, maybe with a mic and a picture of one of them? Maybe wear a tank top.
You think I could pull off a tank top?
Yeah, wear the tank.
I mean, I've lost a lot of weight, but I don't know if I could pull off a tank top.
You should try either wear the tank or the suit, and you get up there. You know what you do? First K-Cast back.
Right.
40 minutes ripping Jason Whitlock. I'm telling you right now.
Right.
Boom, you get the show
But
back.
talk to your pastor first.
You got to talk to your pastor. Get it cleared, then do it.
Well, what if I get canceled?
Well, that means you'll appear again the next day and nothing will have happened.
1-800-919-3776. So I don't think I can get on an
Go full McAfee. Have your first guest be A-Rod.
A-Rod?
Yeah,
right after he's gone, he's back.
Right. Yeah, that would be... Don is good.
That is good.
He's good.
Me?
Good. First down, break his arm. That'll stop it. Let's go to Peter for Dodge.
Hey, guys.
You don't have to leave your living room to play the lottery. Just use the Jackpocket app.
Hot! Okay, everyone, please silence your phones.
I won. I won! I won! I never win anything, and I won today! We won! Yes! Dollar bills, y'all, I'm out!
To win anytime, anywhere, download the Jackpocket app, officially licensed lottery courier service.
At Care.com, you can find all the help you need. You can find babysitters, dog walkers, housekeepers, and senior caregivers, which means you might also find a bit of relief. And the occasional stress-free errand. Maybe even a chance to go and take a bath every once in a while. Just imagine, downtime, clean floors, and, dare we say it, weekends away? Crazy talk, right? Except it's not. Not anymore. Find all the care you need at Care.com.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always. So you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We've worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInk.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at CustomInk.com.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Up your fan engagement with Yes Rewards on the Yes app. Watch live games and earn points. Play the hottest games and score more. Earn status, then redeem your points to win prizes. Yes Rewards on the Yes app.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
What are your highest verdicts? What experience do you have? How many lawyers are on staff? How many clients have you represented? Speak to Whites and Luxembourg at 800-LAW-6789 to get unmatched answers. It's the biggest financial decision of your life. Call 800-LAW-6789 or visit misowin.com.
Overcoming drug addiction was difficult, but I found the path to recovery that worked for me. Treatment helped me come to terms with the issues in my life that caused me to use drugs. And I found better ways to cope. Learning I had a substance use disorder helped me realize I needed to make a change. The road to recovery is different for everyone. There were good days and bad days. But I found strength in seeking help. My friends and family made a huge difference in my recovery. I never gave up. I found my path, and I keep walking it every day. Find the path that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. If the Kansas City Chiefs are successful in ending the Bills season for the third time in the past 4 years, they will make their 6th straight AFC Championship game, surpassing the Oakland Raiders, who made it 5 straight times from 1973 to 1977 for the second longest streak of appearances. They would have to get there 3 more times, though, to get by the New England Patriots. They made it 8 straight years from 2011 to 2018. Andy Reid is going for some history as well. He has appeared in 10 conference championships, 6 with Kansas City and 4 with Philadelphia. He would pass Hall of Fame coach Tom Landry for 2nd place in the most conference title games and would be just 2 shy of another future Hall of Famer, Bill Belichick. And oh, by the way, it isn't going out on a shaky limb to say Reid's bust will also be in Canton at some point as well.
So Peter grabs the point guard.
Well, I don't think it was my best work, but, you know, it needed to be said.
No, they had to pick something. Let's go to Raul in Pennsylvania. Raul.
All right. Michael, what's up, guys?
How you doing?
All right. Can I give you guys a stat for today? A quick stat.
Sure.
All right, here we go. The last 24 years, what 2 Yankee named Raul has played for the Yankees?
Ibanez.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Peter got one.
And
come on, Michael.
Raul.
Come on, Don. You can do it.
I guess I got the easy one, huh?
Play for the. Let me give you a hint. Play for the L.A. Dodgers. His rookie season.
Raul
Ibanez?
Mondesi.
Oh, Mondesi.
Mondesi.
There you go.
Out of way.
All right. I got another point.
Okay.
All right. Don, I'm going to defend you on the first take that you had for the Sherman and Stroman.
Yeah.
Here's why. When I was 14 years old and the Yankees were winning a lot of games, the dynasty years, I used to buy the Post for $1.25. And I had no other way of knowing about news and stuff. And the daily news at the time, I think it was Mike Vaccaro and George Sherman writing. And but my point is that you're right. You know, nowadays it's easier for players to find out easier now. YouTube, podcast, radio. What do you guys say?
Well, I mean, there's certainly more.
You know what I mean, Michael?
There's more lanes to get information, but I'm sorry, I disagree with Don. I think newspapers still move the needle a little bit.
Not at all.
Things that Joel Sherman say, you might say, well, I'm getting it from other places. They're stealing from guys like Joel Sherman, Ken Rosenthal, John Heyman. They were stealing from newspapers.
They're entertaining, and people want to read it, Michael, but it's not molding minds. People... There's so much information out there. They can formulate their own opinion. They don't need to be told by somebody else how to think. They watch all the games.
But let's look at politics. You think people form their own opinions, or they watch what they want to watch?
Because the information isn't as readily available. And let's face it, a lot of people aren't smart enough to understand all the things that are going on in politics. But if you're a baseball fan and you love the Yankees, you think you know them more than anybody. You don't need Joel Sherman to tell you how to feel about any of the Yankees. You watch every game.
But he's not telling you how to feel. He's presenting information where you could then make up your own mind. He's not telling you how to
what
feel.
Information is he going to give you?
He gives you a lot. I mean, he's got access to stuff that maybe the average person doesn't. I'm just telling you, he's in the locker room. You're not.
Yeah, but the average fan is going to judge whether they like somebody or not based on how they pitch or how they play.
If he's in the locker room, right, and one of the Yankees pulls him aside and says, listen, don't use my name. We hate Donaldson in here. And then he writes a column, the Yankees hate Donaldson. They ain't getting that anywhere else. They're not getting that from looking at a stat sheet or a nerdcast. They're not.
Yeah, but you know what's going to end up happening, Michael, is if Stroman is pitching well, then Joel Sherman becomes the enemy for giving that information. And if Stroman's pitching...
He'll say he pitched well.
No, but what I'm saying is that you're talking about they will determine whether they like Stroman or not based on something that Joel Sherman writes. If he's pitching well, and then he breaks that news that there's reports inside the room that they don't like Stroman.
Right.
The fans will turn on Joel because they'll love Marcus because he's pitching well. Now, if he's not pitching well and Joel writes that, there'll just be another reason to hate him because they hate him because he's not pitching well. Back in the day, you'd get information from columnists. That information's like picking cherries now. It's all out. You watch. You formulate your opinion based on what you see. That's why nobody likes the media anymore.
People before were sheep. They just listen. I'm going to tell you, when Dick Young was alive and he wrote a column, stand up and boo Doc Gooden when he came back from the drug suspension. People stood up and booed Doc Gooden because of Dick Young. I don't think it's at that level, but you're taking it to a zero level.
Yeah, it is
wrong.
Zero. But you're wrong. No, I'm not, Michael, because people do. First of all, they don't consume information like that anymore. That's why the newspapers are in trouble. And you're talking about days where not every game was televised. People are consuming the sport. They're watching. They're finding out their own information. They're formulating their own opinions. They don't feel like they need to get it from anybody else.
You don't realize, though, that everything that we read online is aggregated from stuff that's written from reporters.
But I don't think they're getting it from anywhere but what they see. And then when they do go on social media, it's something the players are saying. And the Player Tribune, the players control the narrative more than they ever did before. People are just not getting their information the way they used to. It's really a shame. These are exceptionally talented people, but the average baseball fan doesn't know who any of these guys are anymore.
You're so wrong. Come on. Every Yankee and Met fan knows who Joel Sherman is.
But they
That's
don't
ridiculous.
care.
Don, maybe the average young baseball fan?
Everybody, like from John Boy on, like that young generation, they all know who Joel Sherman is. To think that they don't is asinine. It's asinine. Everything he writes creates news, and it's aggregated by other people.
I know you're surprised, Don, but I tend to agree with Michael on this one. Now, if it was another sport, the writers in football, not as big a deal. In baseball, though, I think he's right.
All right, ENN's coming up in just a moment. It's Michael K. I love when I get to talk about my friends.
With ButcherBox, you never have to worry about what's for dinner. We deliver grass-fed beef, organic, free-range chicken, humanely raised pork, wild-caught seafood, and so much more. Get high-quality meat sourced from trusted partners with free shipping always, so you can always be prepared and enjoy the important things. Sign up for ButcherBox today.
This is my coffee shop. And that's me in my custom shirt from Custom Ink. This week, we moved into a new, bigger space and brought on another employee. To celebrate, I ordered new branded gear for the whole team. Everything was so easy to make with Custom Ink's Design Lab. I just chose my products, added our logo, and placed my order. Our new gear really helps us look and feel like a team. Bring your own team together with custom gear. Get started today at customink.com.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
See everything your store can do with tools from Square. Your inventory automatically restocks, so you never run low. Your online store stays open 24/7, so you're always ready to sell. Your payments are processed in seconds, so customers can breeze through checkout. And with one account to manage it all, you've got more time for taking time out. Get your all-in-one retail system by signing up at square.com today.
The next Mega Millions drawing is presented by Jackpocket. Jackpocket lets you order official state lottery tickets right on your phone. Just pick your numbers and place your ticket order. See a scan of your ticket right in the app. And get your winnings instantly. Go to jackpocket.com to get the app and get your first ticket free. Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app.
So a 2-2 tie. There's a high fly ball deep to right. Crazy, just crazy.
Bayer Aspirin, official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Our mission is to inspire children and youth to become responsible citizens by engaging them in activities that encourage them to reach unlimited possibilities. We accomplish this through our All Rise Pro Camps, Aspiring Leaders Programs, and our mini grant program that supports our youth education, leadership skills, health, and well-being. We began in my hometown of Linden, California, expanded to my college town of Fresno, California, and as of last year, I was fortunate to share All Rise with my home for the next 8 years in New York City. Join me and my foundation as we all rise to support youth in our community at our next All-Star Evening on January 25th, 2024.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Teachers are skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world, expertly discovering solutions. Inspiring, connecting cultures, leading by example. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready?
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
If you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. Never, ever give out your Medicare number. Just hang up.
I check my Medicare statements monthly. To report Medicare fraud, contact the Senior Medicare Patrol in your state.
Get ready for the British Basketball League. 10 teams, one electrifying league. Global talent, local passion. The British Basketball League.
On TV. It's brought to you by Security Dodge. Go see Michelle Scalisium.
Come get some.
Yeah. I'd like to start off tonight by saying good evening to Michael.
Probably gets hard and then just disintegrates.
So, but what did you do? It's unfortunate. And good evening to Don.
Don't get mad at me.
And good evening to Joe in Park Slope.
I'm okay with that.
Can I just say one more thing, Peter?
I'm okay with
in
that.
the discussion we're having?
Oh, boy, you sure?
Who does everybody continually refresh their social media to find out what's happening in trade deadlines.
Well, that's
Jeff Passan, Joel Sherman, John Heyman, Ken Rosenthal. But they get news from people, so they must trust those people.
But they're not molding opinion; they're getting news from them. That's what I just tweeted at because obviously somebody that I respect greatly, Rick Carpinello, tweeted out that he agreed with you. And I'm trying to find my tweet. I don't know why I can't find it. That I tweeted out that unfortunately we're here for news and entertainment. We don't mold minds anymore. That was my point. I mean, obviously, Joel Sherman has tons of followers, and they are the people to go to if you want breaking news because they've got their finger on the pulse. But I don't think Joel Sherman is changing anybody's mind or molding influence back in the day. The fans have access to information that they don't need opinions. Our opinion is not going to influence their opinion. They're going to formulate their own opinion.
I think you're devaluing what we do.
No, but
we can shape opinions.
No.
Well,
not that you hear these people. All they do is they call to argue with us.
Right.
And we
there
argue
are
back and
people
forth.
that probably don't call and say, you know what, that's
because
a good point.
But that is we are here for news and entertainment. We could break some news, and it's entertaining to go back and forth and to disagree. But the days of being up in the mountain saying this is how you should feel about this player, the fans are too educated now. They've got too much access to watch and formulate their own opinion.
All due respect to the fans, Don, but you are giving a lot of credit out.
Yeah, they're
I'm not
sitting
saying
there with
they're
the
right.
numbers, and they're going to easily formulate their own opinion. You don't think that they're swayed one way or another if somebody they respect says one thing?
No, because I think that they feel there was a time where people called, Michael, let me ask you a question, or Don, what do you think about this? It more like they have their opinion. They want to know if it's the same as theirs, or they want to debate our opinions. They watch the games, they formulate their own opinion.
This so-called educated fan that you're describing, Don, they wouldn't want to get thoughts from someone who's in the locker room every day, who's like, let's say Sherman comes out with a piece saying he's getting the word that Stroman and Judge have a tension. Only very specific people can get that and give you that piece.
And if they like the player, they're going to think Joel's a jerk. And if they hate the player, they'll probably hate him anyway.
They don't have an opinion on the player, and that's going to sway them.
I think the reason, why do we always seem to argue with the listener that they always think the media is the evil guy? Because they've already formulated their opinion on a player, whether they like him or dislike him. And if the media likes him, great. If they don't, they'll go after us for not liking him. They have the ability to formulate their opinion. They might be wrong. I'm not saying that they're even educated. But they decide for themselves because they can watch every game's telecast. They can watch every game. They can get every number, every piece of information. There was back in a day where I'd have to listen to radio or read an article to see what somebody's batting average was with runners in scoring position. Now I can find that stuff out on my own.
You don't think that when you went off on the Evan Neal rant with how strongly you felt about it,
that didn't sway people?
You don't think there are people who heard the Evan Neal quote, wouldn't have thought anything much of it, but when they heard you say what you said, came away being like, Don's right, Evan Neal's a jerk.
Well,
you know what? Can they redo point guard? Because Don, I'm sorry, that's a great
point. All right. Well, all I know is I got a lot of people saying thank you because I was able to speak for them because they felt the same way I did, but didn't have the access.
They thought that.
And they liked the fact that somebody agreed with them. But if they disagreed with me, they would have came at me.
Don, half these people didn't even know what it was yet until you heard it. They think they felt that way originally because you made them feel that way. I mean, I'm sorry. With all due respect, you're taking out. Granted, no one may care what the hell I have to say about anything.
I think
but you don't think that when you say anything, people are affected by it?
I think they'll enjoy it because it was entertaining, and they agree with it or disagree with it that way.
Listen,
I don't know if there was somebody who felt like I didn't have an opinion on him, but now I don't like him. But everybody can come up with their own opinions.
Okay, how about this? We haven't seen throughout this season the MVP conversation with quarterbacks in the NFL, who's hot, who's not. That doesn't get affected by the narrative that major media personalities have.
I listen.
You're with me.
I'm totally. Don's dug in. We're dug in. I believe. I'm not. The one thing I will bend on. I don't think anybody that's writing now has the influence that Dick Young used to have. You might not even know who Dick Young is.
I don't.
The biggest sports columnist that I can ever remember. He wrote something, he moved the needle.
This is
when Doc Gooden went into rehab, Dick Young wrote a story they put on the front page, stand up and boo tonight at Shea Stadium. Don't cheer him. and they all stood up and booed.
Right. Those days are over.
Sure.
Those days are way
So
over.
yeah, they're over, but you can't say that there's no influence in the media. You can't say it.
So if there's a how often
you don't think
often does a column lead to the back page in the Post?
Every now and then, but not like it used to be. You don't think that Sean Hannity shapes the views of people?
Well, I guess he would say that's different, though, because it's politics.
Well, okay, but you don't think that Jeff Passan saying something on ESPN shapes the views? No. Adam Schefter shapes the views?
I think they want those people and they follow those people for information. But if Adam Schefter tweets out, I think this guy's a jerk, they'll be like, I think he is. No, they're going to go after him because if they agree with him or agree with him and praise him. Like you said, Dan Orlovsky says something about a player. Everybody's already decided who they think their MVP is.
But they're not.
Right. So they'll be like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or, listen, he agrees with me.
But they're not cardboard boxes, Donna. If Dan Orlovsky said, Aaron Rodgers is the worst thing the Jets have ever done, you can't say that that's not infiltrating their hypothalamus. It's going into their mind.
If they're and listen, does it completely inform them maybe the way it used to? Sure, I'd say it doesn't, but I think it still makes an impact. Now, we did hear from Marcus Stroman at the start.
By the way,
show.
Josh Hart out tonight, second game of a back-to-back with the knee.
Got it. That makes sense. Got themselves a nice win yesterday. Should grab another one today. This is not as you said the other day, stub their toe. Don't stub your toe against the lowly Wizards. Marcus Stroman. How did your deal with the Yankees come about?
Booney came over, Aaron Boone came to my home throughout the process, had a few calls with some of the guys on the team, a few texts with some guys on the team. But yeah, me and Cashman kind of hashed out whatever it was that we had from a few years ago. We kind of laughed about it and we moved on. He let me know how interested he was in me as a pitcher. He thought that I was someone who would kind of thrive in the lights and the pressure. And I thought it was a perfect fit.
And specifically about Cashman, how did Marcus Stroman and Brian Cashman clear the air?
It was quick, man. It was quick. We literally laughed about it. He let me know his quick little piece about how it didn't necessarily come out as essentially how he wanted it to. He let me know that I was someone who he thought was always going to be a good competitor, someone who could handle the lights, someone who thrived in the pressure. And that was kind of the ultimate draw. You know what I mean? I'm not someone who shies away from the limelight or pressure or the lights. I think a lot of guys would avoid coming to New York and playing for the Yankees because of that reason. And I'm someone who, like I said, I feel like it brings out the best in me. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity. I think Cash is kind of right there in agreement with me as far as he thinks it's going to be a good situation for the both of us. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm excited. Obviously, I grew up from Long Island. I grew up going to Yankee games, and to be able to put on the pinstripes, that's something we all dream about as kids. So I can't wait.
This, you know, what gets me mad.
What's that?
We have this whole conversation, and I open up my Twitter as I do during the show, and shouldn't because it's filled with morons. And one of those morons, Bob, writes, well, Michael, today's an epiphany. Now you know you can't retire at all because Don and Peter haven't got a clue. Sherman is a god in the sports world, and people take their cues from him. But
I'm not planning to retire.
I understand that, but the only point I'm pointing out is I've been arguing the whole time with you against Don.
Yeah, but you know what? The opinion of you is that they don't like you. So somebody has made that opinion.
So it almost speaks to Don's point. He almost helped make Don's point because his point is already made on me, even when I'm giving him information, sitting here saying...
But you know what? He probably got that information from Andrew Marchand writing Sidekick or something like that.
And now, so Marchand influenced him.
Right, and Marchand hates you and he hates you. So those people influence some people.
Oh, boy. That's tough. That's really, really tough. Let's hear...
Is this Bob? That's all we got is Bob? His name is just Bob.
Bob Krantz.
Oh, he's a big listener to the show. Bobby.
He's got, if you're wondering, if this kind of thing matters to you.
Right.
His profile picture is just the Jets. It's just Jet stuff. And his biography is, I love the Jets. And he's currently followed by 5 people.
I love Bob. I'm one of the people following him.
Really?
Yep.
That's just simply not true what you just said. And that's the part that it's upsetting.
You do you, Bob.
Yeah. Bob! Was that just me, or the drop at the same time?
Both.
Wow, really?
Drop at the same time.
Mike Tomlin spoke on the whole leaving the press conference thing.
Does he acquit himself well?
Let's hear from Coach Tomlin.
In a little better mood today, man. Anybody got any contract questions? I'll say this. I certainly could have handled that situation better than I did. But I'll also say this. I just believe there's a time and place for everything, and post-game press conferences are probably not the place to address contract issues and things of that nature. It's just a very individual thing, and on game day, I doubt any of us are in that mindset. Certainly I am not. What's required to do what it is that we do, the amount of focus pouring into a collective, I'm just not in that mind state, and I just don't believe that's the appropriate venue to talk about things of that nature.
Well, how about you say that, Mike, instead of storming off like a child? How about saying this is not the appropriate time to be talking about my future and my contract? It's a much better look than spinning and turning on your heels and walking out. Mike Tomlin's a really smart guy. He's got a television career ahead of him when he decides to step away.
And people get emotional, man. As long as it... I guess the reason I'm cutting him some slack, besides the fact that I like Tomlin, it was disrespectful. But I'm much more understanding of that version of disrespectful as opposed to being nasty to people's faces the way other great coaches who we idolize are.
It's kind of nasty to walk off in the middle of somebody's sentence.
It's nasty. But
it's disrespectful.
But I'd rather you just walk out because you don't like it than be directly nasty to my face. Just me.
Nasty is nasty. It's another form of nasty.
Again, it's just like how I feel about the first down point.
Right.
Not all created equal. You know what I mean? Nasty is different. Janet Jackson nasty is not the same as
it's
vanity
not the level of nasty. I know you're like coaches that with a dumb question.
Yeah.
But then there's a way to handle it. Like, did you see Todd Bowles? There was this woman who was...
But he was a gentleman.
But that's what you're supposed to be.
But he won. He also just won. You know what I mean? You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Where'd you put that for? Oh, here it is. This is, by the way, this is not what you want out of a question in a presser. Todd Bowles, whose Bucks are going to play Detroit.
And I don't believe this is after a game. This is the next day.
Yeah. This is it's what I'm saying is it's during the week and it's after a win when they're on their way to go do something fun. Here's Todd Bowles being asked about going to play at Detroit indoors at Ford Field.
Looking forward towards Detroit. The weather has been a factor in some of the playoff games, even for the most prepared teams. Today, it's 13 in Detroit, which doesn't compare to some of the temperatures we tend to get up to. Any special plans to acclimate the team to not only endure, but perform in those kind of frigid temperatures should you face them in Detroit?
You do know we play indoors, right? And they got a dome. No, nothing planned. We're indoors. We only have to be outside for 20 seconds, getting off the bus, going under the thing. So.
Well, we had him on. He's a gentleman.
You remember
somebody would say, "Oh, you an idiot." Now, one thing. The one thing is the rumor she worked for a local news department that has trimmed everybody, and they send her blind. She's a news reporter to a sports. Now, I don't cut her any slack. You have to know the game's indoors. But that is the reason. She's not a sports reporter. It would be like if Bruce Beck asked that. He would never ask that.
The shame of it is it sounded like she was well prepared.
She tried to...
Because she went back, looked at the other games.
What you said she was what? She was what kind of reporter?
She's a news reporter for a news station that had cut off its whole sports department. So they just sent a news reporter out there and said, cover this. And
she tried to ask a question.
Right. And she's not from Detroit. She was probably from Tampa Bay. And she didn't know that Detroit plays indoors.
That's a tough spot.
Because, again, she seemed like she was well-informed except for the most important part, that they play in a dome, which would make sense if she wasn't a sports person.
But he's such a sweet guy. The way
he is.
I'm telling you right now, what percentage of NFL coaches would not have been that kind about it? 70%?
Yeah.
Something snarky.
But isn't it nice to be a good guy?
Gladys. Do we have Gladys on the show?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Oh, we used to produce the heck out of the show.
Well, wait a minute. We still do.
The way he leveled that insult, I hope Anthony's laughing over there because that was pretty good. We used to produce the heck out of the show. But how did that happen?
Was that Andrew?
It was an Andrew time, but how? But
he got a hold of Gladys Knight.
Come on, there wasn't a reason that we had her on for some reason?
Because he had said on a previous show that he loved Chips Ahoy, and we got him Chips Ahoy,
right?
And that he loved Gladys Knight. Like he would have a hard time. if he ever spoke with Gladys Knight. And Andrew produced the heck out of the show and got Gladys Knight. Didn't get the pips, just got Gladys.
So what do we know about Robert Saleh? Here's all we know. He clearly loves sex because the man has tons of children.
Could have just had it 7 times. You don't know that.
That's a great
He
point.
could be a strict procreation guy.
Strict could be.
There's people that don't believe that about.
I know.
With all my heart.
Yeah. But can I just say that? I don't think this is bad to say. Don has a description of human beings that he will decide based on the way they act, that they are a strict procreation person.
Right.
Meaning, if anyone's wondering, they don't have interest in sex. They simply, if they have children, it was just for those children.
That's right.
And that is
right,
it.
and then they shut it down.
I love that. So, just if anyone wants to add stuff to their lexicon, I know people enjoy things that we say on the show. Off the air, one of the things that is said is strict procreation guy.
Right.
And then Peter cuts it down to strict procreation.
Exactly.
Right. And then, you know what? I have zero influence because you guys refuse to believe it.
Now, but what could, if you want to put the pressure on Pusick, which is the name of my 13th album.
Pressure on Pusick.
What could he get to spice up the Saleh hits, assuming we have them again? What do we know about Saleh?
Nothing.
I don't know. Go golfing with him, I guess. Get Joe Benigno on.
Yeah, we should get Benigno.
Yeah, do you want to get Benigno? Actually, you know what? That would create an interesting moment now.
Yeah, that was a good choice by Robert.
But we did eventually get something out of Coach Bowles. Took time, but we got there. Do you guys find yourself rooting for him?
Yes.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
Would you?
He's a good man.
Would you enjoy? Now, Don, we love Detroit. We're in on Detroit. Would you take some satisfaction though in seeing Bowles kind of shock the world and go win a second playoff game?
Absolutely.
No, I want Detroit to win, and I think Jared Goff's gone through a lot.
Really?
Yeah. His girlfriend is just gorgeous.
How much has he gone through? He went to a Super Bowl.
His girlfriend is just unbelievable.
You haven't seen Jared Goff's girlfriend?
Oh, yeah. Remember the whole thing on the beach when they won their first game?
I remember it. I never stopped thinking about it.
It's a screensaver.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it right now. Hold on.
So they still haven't married?
No. They're engaged, I believe.
Okay.
He's still that.
I don't see that as being a strict procreation guy. I think,
well, you would hope not. Or it seems like a waste, but...
Yeah, I don't see AC Green in Jared Goff.
No, I'm not getting that vibe from. But I will say, Todd Bowles goes and wins a second playoff game.
He might not lose his job.
Wait, you think he might? You think there's a chance he could lose his job?
If he had lost the first game, I think he would have lost his job.
I don't know. I mean, only because maybe they would try to go after some of the guys that are available.
Say, only because of the big names available.
Would it be great if they got Belichick after Brady?
And win again.
Some things right themselves.
Now, here's my question. While we're going down fantasy road, they go out and get Belichick.
Right.
Belichick comes in and says, and everyone says to Bowles, this has nothing to do with you. It's just Belichick's available.
Right.
We want to keep you around as defensive coordinator.
He'd probably say no. He could be defensive coordinator anywhere. He's thought as a great defensive coordinator. Why would you take a back seat?
Now, let's take Belichick out of the situation.
Belichick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Belichick. If you take Bill out of the situation, Bowles wins another game, gets to an NFC Championship game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's locked himself up for a couple of years in Tampa? That's a big run for a team that no one has talked about this team.
And they're $80 million over the cap. They signed a quarterback for a pittance. He was released essentially by Carolina last year, and he's turned him into. And he's a defensive guy, but the team plays hard. They play well.
And can you add a little side note on top of how great we already think Shanahan is? That McVay is. That McVay got Mayfield in L.A. for like 4 games.
Fixed them.
And did enough to polish him up.
Yeah, he almost won that first game. Remember, they signed him on a Tuesday.
Yes.
And I think they were playing on a Thursday.
And it was like an incredible performance.
Yeah, they
almost
lost,
won.
but he actually played well.
And polishes him up. Now he gets the job there, and he's going to get paid this offseason.
Yeah, he should.
What do you think he gets?
Well, he's got to get at least 20 a year.
Oh yeah, for sure. He might be close to 30.
30.
Yeah. God, what a crazy
He's never
life
going to have to live in a stadium again, ever.
I'm so happy.
There's no evidence he lives at, was it Raymond James Stadium?
Yeah, I think it's the pirate ship. He lives
then why are we missing this opportunity of showing it on television? It shows you the impact that advertising had. I can't think of who did the advertising.
Was it Progressive, I think?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But then why didn't they continue it in Tampa?
They had NFL Live on from Raymond James Stadium before that game. I don't know if you saw this. And they always practice the cannon shots from the pirate ship. And Marcus Spears was talking. And they shoot off like 5 cannon shots. And he looked petrified.
It's loud.
No, he thought that there was some kind of attack. And Laura Rutledge said, "No, that's the pirate ship."
I don't know if you can find it.
It was scary.
They have a cannon in Columbus, and one time I called the goal, and Pete Stemkowski's taught, and then they fire off and his reaction was like tremendous. See if you can find it in the system. It's worth listening
you have to see Marcus's face. I don't blame him because I was watching it live and I said, "Oh, what's going on?" But this day and age, you just have no idea.
Happening. Now, let's hear from our guy, Dan Campbell. He's the guy across the field from...
They call him Soup.
Soup is going to be across the field from...
Whatever happened?
I think he retired.
From Todd Bowles. Here's Dan Campbell speaking on the Lions not getting ahead of themselves.
You know, I'm so much into the mode now, and I want us thinking it's the next one. We got 3 left, and we got to go get this one right now. Let's do everything we can to put a good game plan together. These guys where they can digest, be ready to go, good practice, and let's go get this one. Man, then we got to gear up for the next one. So I think it's very much business as usual. You know, I think it's too early to start getting there. I think that's where you got to be careful. You get complacent. I think that's great for everybody to feel good and love where we're at. But for us, we can't. We got to just stay on the tracks here.
So long, everyone. That's ENM, brought to you by Security Dodge. Shop 24/7 at securitydodge.com during this time.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, the British Basketball League. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock.